Okay, so I think we have some people watching already. Facebook is congratulating me, telling me this is my most watched live feed. It's actually my first, so that makes sense. Hey everybody, hey Mary. Hey Bob. Hey T-Fab. Hey Bettina. Hey Kip. The Kip Coltrane is watching me. I feel very, very important tonight. Alright, well let's get started. So it's taken 6 weeks, and finally I pulled the short card and get to give the update tonight. The reason for that is good. Most of our people are exhausted from working at Super Chicken yesterday and demoing houses. So, thank you, Sarge, for telling me I don't sound country. I feel like I do, but thank you. So I just wanted to take a few minutes and give a quick update on how things went this weekend. I unfortunately did not get the pleasure of being at Super Chicken. I had plans out of town already and couldn't come, but I looked at the pictures and I watched the live videos, and I'm extremely jealous that I didn't get to be there because it really honestly looked like such a good time that even being at the beach with some friends and having a great weekend, it just, I don't know. I think I almost would rather have been there for a few minutes, but anyway, I've talked to some people, and there's a little bit of, nobody really knows how much chicken we served. We served a lot. It was in the thousands. The thing we do know is that we touched a lot of people. We made a lot of connections. We created a lot of relationships that are going to continue to grow and build. I've heard some rumors, and I'm going to call them rumors at this point, that we're going to try to coordinate an effort to rebuild the church that we worked at yesterday. That's Hope Community United Methodist Church there on Evangeline Street in North Baton Rouge. So hopefully that is the case, and hopefully we can work with those people, because from everything I've been told, it was really good people, really good relationships created, and they stepped up, and the people in the community there helped the Cajun Army and the Cajun Navy and Cajun Gravy and Cajun Special Forces and just all the crazy Cajuns who was there. So let's see. The mayor came. He declared October 1st as Super Chicken Day in Baton Rouge, which is pretty awesome. The fire department, the police department were there. They were helping serve. They were loving on people. It's exactly what is needed in that community, and I'm just very grateful that that happened. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes. I know that there was so many people that helped yesterday. There's absolutely no way that I could ever, and I'm sure anybody who was there could never thank everyone that were there or that brought something or contributed in some way. So please just know that you are appreciated. You are not forgotten. Even if you didn't get a personal thank you or a personal note in the mail saying how much we appreciate what you did, the Lord knows what you did, and you know what you did, and you know that you made it possible, and we know that you made it possible. So thank you very much for the efforts that you made to pull off Super Chicken. Honestly, we couldn't have done it without you. Okay, so that's really all I know about Super Chicken, so I'm not going to talk anymore about it, because I'll probably give you wrong information. I do know that yesterday afternoon, in the midst of Super Chicken, Leslie Nordness made her second trip to Baton Rouge from Birmingham, Alabama. And she brought a trailer full of storage bins and cleaning supplies and dropped those off at the Batcave. So we're going to have those to distribute to homeowners who need them. And as I understand it, the storage bins are kind of a big deal. We kind of need those. So that was a big gap that she filled for us. The other thing is Mary B. at the Batcave, the warehouse space that she has so generously made available over the past couple of months. We could not continue to do this without her and without the company that is supplying that space. So we're very grateful, and we're very happy that she's continuing to work with the Cajun Army in that respect. Okay, so yesterday also, while Super Chicken was going on, we were demoing houses. And we had a crew of 14 college kids from Thibodaux, who I think Julie Orlando was able to get our way. They succeeded in getting one house done. I think we had another crew of 4 women who got another house done. So we had 2 houses done yesterday, even while we had most of our people working Super Chicken. So that's incredible. I was really curious as to whether we were going to pull that off or not. and get any houses demoed. So I'm thrilled. We did not do the houses in the same zip code as the church where Super Chicken was held. I think that we felt like these houses were what we call priority ones, which means they really had to be done, that the mold growth was so bad, the people who were living there didn't have a place to stay, and we needed to step in and get those houses done. So our intention had kind of been to work in that zip code where the church is, but I think we felt like those houses there were more lower level priority, and we had some bigger needs on our list. So that didn't work out exactly like we planned, but it doesn't matter. Houses are getting gutted, and that's the important thing. Okay, today we actually only had 2 demo volunteers show up, and we were supposed to have a few more, and for a variety of reasons they weren't able to make it. So Trisha Joe and Michael Hanley and Supergirl Kimberly, after working basically all day yesterday at Super Chicken and demoing yesterday at Super Chicken, went out and demoed houses until about an hour ago, and they got 2 houses completely done today. But what it shows is that we just have a very painful lack of demo volunteers. Events like Super Chicken are fun, honestly. It's a one-day thing, and everybody kind of knows how to cook and knows how to plate up food and knows how to do that, and you can get together and do it sort of as a fun thing that you get together and it's almost like a party, you know? But I don't think people feel the same about demo, but I think Trisha Joe would tell you differently, that demoing is fun and people have a good time and it's enjoyable, and once you're addicted, at least that's what I'm told. So I just want to encourage everyone, if you don't think you can demo, I think you can, and I think you can help more than you realize. Most of our demo crews are actually led by women, and I don't want to say led by women, that's not the right word, but they're very women heavy. We have a lot of gals working on our teams, and you know, guys, maybe it's time to step up and help these ladies out, because I know everybody's tired. I know they are. I know you've been helping your family and your friends, but we're going to have to reach out further. We're going to have to appeal to the people outside of Baton Rouge and outside of Louisiana to come and help us. We'll get you housing, we'll get you food, we'll get you transportation, whatever you need. We just need you here to help us for, even if it's just a day, because we've still got 500 or so houses on our list that need something. I don't know that they all need a complete gut job, but a lot of them do. And without more than 5 volunteers a day, it's just not going to get done. I mean, it's just really, really not. And we've done everything we know to do. I think this coming up week, we're going to start really pushing businesses to give their employees a paid day off to come help Cajun Army demo homes. I don't know if that's going to work. I know there's a certain amount of tax write-off that businesses can do for kind of donating an employee to a charitable organization. So we're going to look at that. We're going to put some stuff out on the Facebook page that maybe people can share and explain that, look, you know, if you can give us an employee for 8 hours, we can get a house done with 8 hours. So I'm not sure it'll work, but we're going to try it because we've kind of tried everything else, and hopefully the media coverage we got out of Super Chicken will raise some awareness and people will understand what we're trying to do. Because bottom line, regardless of Super Chicken, regardless of anything else that we're doing, gutting homes is kind of our primary mission. That's the mission. That's what we're trying to stick to. Trying to keep on track to get as many, well, we want to relieve the burden of people. We can't do it all. I mean, we know that Cajun Army is probably not going to be able to step up and our volunteers go in and rebuild these houses. But if we can get them to the point that they can be rebuilt, then that's going to lessen the homeowner's burden to an extent, to a great extent, honestly, especially some of the least and last and lonely that we're trying to serve. So to that end, I do want to get our audience to help us identify some resources. We're getting a lot of questions now because a lot of people in the community are starting to get ready to rebuild. And they're asking us where to get sheetrock. And they're asking us where to get labor to help them do it. And they're asking us where to get cabinets, you know, at a discounted rate or free or donated. And honestly, I don't know what to tell them. We've asked several times on Facebook and not really gotten a lot of feedback. And truthfully, there may not be many organizations out there doing that at this point. But if there are and we don't know about them, please let us know, because that's something I know that our needs team that Smiling Karen heads up, they've got a spreadsheet, and they've got kind of a list of special needs for homeowners, and they're trying to identify those resources that if we can't provide it, they're going to try to match up the homeowner with the person who can do that. Chris King says he has an idea, and that really scares me, because every time that happens, we end up cooking 10,000 pounds of chicken. So somebody stop him for at least a day. I think he needs to put the brakes on for at least a couple of days. Let us breathe. The other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was the volunteer process. We've got a lot of people who say on the Facebook page, hey, how can I get involved? And, you know, I can do so much to get people plugged in, but it's so much more efficient, and it works so much better if you go to our website and put in, if you want to do demo, I think you click on join a demo group or demolition group, and if you just want to volunteer in general, then you just click on volunteer and kind of go through and talk about what your skills are and where you might like to work. If you do that and you haven't heard from us within a couple of days, then yeah, come on the Facebook page and say, hey, I filled out the form and I haven't heard anything, and I can follow up and get you to the person that needs to follow up with you. Sometimes those spreadsheets, you know, it's technology. Sometimes it doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. Sometimes things just, you know, don't happen the way they should. So, but let's try to start there if you can, because it's just so much easier for everybody involved if those processes are followed. And it works the same way with people who need help. I saw something, I think it was on Friday, that one of the news media had shared, and it was a lady in Baker who was trying to demo her house on her own, and it gave us an address, didn't have a name, it didn't have a phone number, it had nothing. I mean, it was so, do we just take the risk of sending somebody by this person's house, you know, not expecting us, not knowing who we are? I mean, you know, I think it was an elderly lady, and I don't want to scare her to death and say, hey, here we are, we're going to help you gut your home. So we need to make sure that the people who need help are getting plugged into our system with the information we need. We desperately need phone numbers. We can't really, I don't want to say we can't help, but it's harder for us to help if you just give us an address and say that, you know, my cousin's sister's second, whatever, stepson needs their house gutted. I mean, we really need to have as much information as we can. And if we can't get a phone number, we can usually try to track people down. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but if you're telling us somebody needs help, it really is just makes the process much quicker if we can at least get a contact phone number for somebody, even if it's not the homeowner, if it's somebody familiar with the situation, and that's happened many times. So, okay, let me move on. Oh, the one thing I wanted to talk about was our app, because I know that some people have not been able to access CajunArmy.com because they don't have access to the internet. So, DJ Bubba Love, who we all know and love and is a great, great person and has done so much to help Cajun Army, has taken it upon himself to create a Cajun Army app for iPhones and Androids. Here's the problem. It's available in Google Play if you have an Android. It's supposedly coming in the App Store. It was supposed to be there Friday. It's not there yet. I just checked a couple hours ago. So I haven't really wanted to announce it until we knew it was there, because it was just going to be confusing if you had an Android, if you had an iPhone. But it's out there, and it's hopefully coming. And it has links to the Amazon wish list. It has links to the website. It has links to how to volunteer. A couple other things. I think it's got some pictures and some things like that on there. So if you don't have access to the internet, you can always just use it from your phone. And it's free, so you don't have to pay to use it. So anyway, you know, I think I'm going to be done with this. I don't want to keep anybody any longer after a long weekend. I know everybody's probably ready to get ready for bed and get ready for a Monday. But thank you. If you helped with Soup of Chicken on Saturday, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I couldn't be there, and I'm glad someone was to help out with that effort and to get that chicken to the people who need it. Why are you saying no, Chris King? That terrifies me. And seriously, Chris and Kip, they kind of put this thing together yesterday and made it happen, and I'm amazed that they just said, let's just do it, and jumped in and didn't give it a whole lot of planning, because I tend to be sort of a control freak and I have to look at things from every angle and think about them for, I don't know, a good couple of weeks before I act on them. And Chris and Kip just jumped in and said, let's just get it done. And they've got guts. I don't think I would have done it. So I admire them, and I'm glad that they trusted God to get the resources in place to make it happen. And I'm really anxious to see what happens now, what the next steps are, and what relationships are going to come of this, and how we can work together to make the future better for everybody in Baton Rouge. You know, this flood did a lot of things, and I hope, if nothing else, it brings people together. That's my hope and my prayer for Baton Rouge, to come together and love each other and understand that we're all in this together, and we're not going to get anywhere in life without leaning on each other, especially in times like this. So thank you, Cajun Army. Thank you, Chris and Kip. And yes, Nick Loop, I'm terrified of speaking in public, so the fact that I haven't thrown up yet is awesome. So anyway, everybody have a good night and a good week, and we will be with you tomorrow with hopefully some more exciting news. Thanks.